right, so let's set the scene for these short clips here. December 10th, we've had a lot of rain that week leading up to this weekend. So the play here, the plan is to go and run these creeks, run these inflows, because you've had enough time since the heavy rains came in that any sort of mud or any sort of stains kind of cleared up a little bit in the very backs. So plus, this is going to let you kind of get away from some of that greater amount of pressure out towards the main lake or towards the mouths of these creeks where there might be some bait. But some of that bait will push back in here, and these fish will push back into these inflows as well. And here on Holston, we're focusing in on Sulphur Springs Creek and Fish Dam and North Fish Dam there on the lake. And you can't see here, but there's a lot of inflow coming in from behind us here, and we just ran to the backs of these creeks where all that water was coming in, looking for some shallower fish instead of trying to chase them around with the Demiki so much. But I did Demiki some because there was quite a bit of bait on back here in this creek. But again, what we found was back towards the backs of these creeks where there was a laydown, where there was a stump, there was some sort of cover. There was not only one fish holding, there was several fish holding in these areas at a time. Some of the things that you didn't get to see when I was throwing that jackal gantia, that hard-bodied swim bait, was some of these trees that were in the backs of these creeks. I'd have 2 or 3 rise up on it. Now they didn't always come up and mess with it or bite it. But again, we were running to the backs. Now, I was a little bit shocked because I was expecting a little bit more stain back here from all the rain. It was fairly clear, but if you compared the color of the water back here in the back to what was out on the main, there was some color, which I think helped out a lot with these fish and their willingness to pursue, their willingness to chase. And so later in the day, we saw that the bait had kind of dispersed somewhat, so these fish had moved to the most nearby cover. But remember that anytime you get some heavy rains, especially in December, and it's a warm time period and warm rain, that these inflows can be some good areas to get away from the crowds that might be out on the main lake or towards the mouths of these creeks. And you can get some of these fish to yourself, and they might be a little bit more active because there's a little bit more color to it. Things like crankbaits, spinner baits. In this case here, I just really like that gantia, especially when that water temperature is from 50 to 55, and it was 54 degrees here. But you're going to get a lot of fish that are going to rise on it. You're going to see a lot of them. I even got a few bumps here before this one, and this one little inflow decided to finally eat. So be prepared for that. But again, you get some warm rains or warm days with some heavy rains, maybe a day or so later, go into those inflows, see what's moved back there, see how you can play that little bit of watercolor that's in that lake to your advantage to help you get some more bites. But it's a great way to fish here in December, guys.
Looking.